Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. UFC Oklahoma just ended, and Dricus Duplessis put down a beating on should I say, a prime Kamaru Usman. And by prime, I mean this was the same Kamaru Usman that fought Colby Covington the first time because the acting skills were just too good, man. He was acting like he got eye poked. He was constantly calling the ref to do something about legal shots, constantly getting angry because the referee was not giving him enough break. Dricus Duplessis was looking so good in this fight. I think this is the best he has ever looked because how limited, as I explained this in my breakdown, that Kamaru Usman is going to look very limited in this fight. And when you are like this against Dricus Duplessis, he's going to shine so much better. But not only that, he looked technically so good. His strikes looked probably the best we have ever seen. He looked as the fastest we have ever seen, honestly. His cardio was holding up. He really, really put down a great performance tonight. And he hurt Kamaru Usman like 8 times in the fight, right? I think he hurt him like maybe 6 times, and a lot of it was with his left leg. And this is something I've been talking about for a while, and I know some of the people are also talking about it, but it's very underappreciated by the mainstream MMA fans. Dricus Duplessis and Paddy Pimblett are so weird in the sense that their left leg is so much better than their right leg. Like their left leg is genuinely like elite, and their right leg is like decent to do the stuff that is basic, like leg kicks, like front teeps, and then the left kick is like you have the high kicks, you have knees, you have like extremely dexterous and quick question mark kicks, the yada yada yada. And that was very visible in this fight because Kamaru Usman was shorter than Dricus Duplessis, and that meant he every time that he was like trying to do some level change with his jab or just to wrestle, Dricus Duplessis' left leg was ready for it. He was switching stance and he was catching him with high kicks, and the knee that he caught him. I have no idea how Usman was like how the fight went to 5 rounds, man, because this was clean. He caught him at a perfect time. His timing looked great, first of all, but he caught him at a perfect time with his knee, and Usman didn't even go down actually. He just wobbled on the feet, and he kept getting hurt. I feel like he got hurt like 3 rounds of the fight, and Dricus Duplessis, yes, just amazing stuff, man. The As I said in the breakdown, the main thing that is good with Usman on the feet is his jab, and this jab was never there to. His jab never did anything because Dricus Duplessis, for one, he was every time he was in orthodox, he was parrying really well, and Usman is not like a combination striker who just like throws 2 3 strikes at the time. He usually just does one or one two maybe, and if his jab is like getting parried and stuff, that immediately stops him right at the beginning itself, and he was completely struck basically and couldn't like start going after this. And to make things worse, Dricus was throwing bombs at him. It was coming up constantly over the top every time with his right hand. Every time Usman threw a jab, and he was catching him behind the ears and in the temple, and it was hurting Usman. That was one thing that he was doing really well. And then every time he went to southpaw, he was hand fighting so well. He was grabbing Usman's wrist and then throwing his left hand, and sometimes he will. I don't even know if you can call it a jab because it's like comes from the side basically. Where every time he was in southpaw, he brings his hand to the side and then goes straight down like this. So Usman is in this image, for example. I don't really have an example of that, where he will try to hand fight and then he will extend his hand on that side, his elbows on that side, and then comes down straight with his jab outside of Usman's lead hand, and it was catching him really clean. So Usman never was able to start going. And another thing that was extremely visible is how well Dricus Duplessis was like adding on top of his strikes. So he was throwing punches in bunches. He was mixing his hands with his legs. He was coming up with knee, and this is one instance that I found it extremely beautiful. So Dricus Duplessis throws a southpaw jab, shifts his leg, obviously, with it. This is not how people really do it. Look how close his legs are. He's if someone can time this, you can easily take him down here. But that's not the point. When you have like a muscle ball like Dricus Duplessis, it's extremely imposing. And he shifts his leg to do this, and then he feints the right hand, which makes Usman think to duck under it, catches him with the knee clean again. His combinations were so good in this fight. He was starting with hands and then finishing with legs. He was every time Usman tried to change levels, he was punishing him immediately, which stopped Usman from doing anything offensive, basically. And he was doing a lot of cool things, man. This is another one of them. So this is the Volkanovski Conor McGregor type shit where he was going on with his power hand basically, so his left straight, and Usman is way away from here. It's way out of the reach, and he's like, there is nothing that can really happen here. And Dricus Duplessis jumps in with his right hand and then catches him clean, which surprises him. And this is also evident because his timing and distance is so off because he, how can I explain it? If starts to fight when people think they are disengaging, and it's throwing off everyone basically. Like I think Adesanya was also talking about it. Like every time he thought Dricus was like tired, he's like disengaging and stuff. He comes up with like a bunch of punch, and it was like, how did this catch me? And this is a timing that Dricus Duplessis has, which is a problem for everyone. And this particular stuff was so beautiful because there was like a split second, like he missed a, it was a half beat basically. He threw the hand, and it was not like bop up with his left and right. He threw the left and then like gave gave it like a split second, which made Usman think, it's not coming, and then he jumped in with his right hand, and it just catches people off guard, man. I don't know, the timing and the distance management of Dricus Duplessis is very goofy because he's like so athletic. Even though sometimes he looks slow, he's like explosive as fuck when he gets into it. And by goofy, this is what I mean. So another example: throws the right hand, misses Usman basically, and then he catches him with the backhand with the same motions. And again, this is like disrupting people, and they can't really like continue with their strikes. And it was just too much for Usman, man. Dricus Duplessis really like put on a beating today. Really did it. And I don't know who is gonna be facing next. I know he was calling for a title shot, but I don't know if that's gonna be the case. Um, I do think that they probably want Hamzat to fight Strickland again, so because that's the bigger fight. But I don't know what's gonna happen with him. And maybe if he fights Imavov next, that's gonna be a hard fight. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens in that fight. But yeah, this was not like close at all. I know Kamaru Usman was complaining about it to the in the post-fight interview, I guess, but it was also complaining during the fight the entire time. But yeah, this fight was not like close at all. Dricus Duplessis really put on a beating. It was competitive at times, but yeah, it was not close at all. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in another video.